Shalom, everybody. Oh, pardon me. Hey, if I can get my voice. Shalom, everybody. It's the Wyco Nomad with Wyco Resiliency. Let me fix my beanie here a little bit. This has got the weirdest thing. So, let's just pop on a hat to keep everything out of the way because I'll go nuts here. So, okay. So, we are on Genesis, Bereshit 4. We're going to do 4 through 5. And the reason I know this is because this is take number 2. So, please bear with me. I have allergies. It's allergy season, and where I work is a very dusty and dirty. So, unclean. For those of you that watch The Chosen, you may get that joke. So, something I find very, very amusing. This is take 2 because on the first take, I mixed up names, and yeah, that would have been tragic because people would have turned around and it's like, you know those names are wrong. It's like, so round 2, read. And like I said, we are Genesis 4 and 5, or Bereshit 4 and 5. And as a disclaimer, you guys know I do not speak Hebrew, nor do I pronounce it well. I don't even speak English well. English is my second language, as broken English is my first, and Hebrew would fall along the lines of 10th. So, but let us begin. And Adam knew Hawa, or Hava, or as we commonly know her as Eve. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have gained a man, Yahweh. And again she gave birth to his brother, Abel. And Abel became a keeper of sheep, but Cain became a tiller of the ground. So, here we have essentially the farmer and the rancher. And I am opening up my other Bible because it has some interpretations or some translations that are a little easier for me to understand or to pronounce for those troublesome words of Hebrew. So we have a rancher and a farmer. So Cain would bring the fruit of the land, where Abel would bring sheep. And a lot of times there's people that ask, well, when was the law given? Well, the law was given to Moses. It was given to Moshe. Well, no, Moshe codified the law. Prior to that, it was handed down. Yahweh, God, gave the law, instructions to Adam. He gave it to Eve. Adam would then pass it down to his sons, and then those two, eventually, those two, then one, then another one, would pass it down to their lineage. Oral traditions. 4:3. And it came to be in the course of time that Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground to Yahweh. That's a little bit of a key, a course of time. We will use the stars and the moon to dictate signs and appointed times. They knew when the appointed time was that he would bring an ascending offering, most likely a offering of thanksgiving. Not necessarily an offering of sin, a removal of sin, because the mom and dad had already sinned. Cain hasn't done anything yet, but stay tuned. And Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground to Yahweh, and Abel also brought the firstborn of his flock and of their fat. And Yahweh looked at Abel and his offering, but he did not look to Cain and his offering. And Cain was very wroth, and his face fell. So Cain's a little angry and a little disappointed. I liked what was said, sad emoji face. That one, yeah. Cain did not bring the best of his crops. He just brought some crops. Where Abel brought the firstborn. We will come across this and learn about this more in Leviticus as you are to bring the firstborn. And Yahovah, and we've gone over the whole thing, so. Yahweh said to Cain, "Why is he wroth towards you? And why is your face fallen? Is it not if you do good, you are to be accepted? And if you do not do good towards the door, is sin. He is lying, and towards you is his desire, and you must rule over him." And Cain told Abel his brother. And it came, and Cain told Abel his brother. And it came to be when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and murdered him. And we're going to use the term murder because it was the heart-set mindset of Cain. He didn't just kill him, he murdered him. Cain was wroth, he was angry. His heart was convicted to murder him out of jealousy and anger and wrath. And Yahweh said to Cain, "Where is Abel your brother?" And he said, "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? Or am I in mine it says, am I my brother's guard?" And he said, "What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. And now you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. If you till the ground, it shall no longer yield its strength to you. You shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth." And Cain said to Yahweh, "My punishment is too great to bear." Wah. Yeah, I know I murdered my brother, but man, this really is tough. Ad-libbing if you haven't figured that out. "See, you have driven me from the face of the ground today, and I am hidden from your face. I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth, and it shall be that anyone who finds me kills me." And Yahweh said to him, "Well, if anyone kills Cain, he shall be avenged sevenfold." And Yahweh set up a sign for Cain, lest anyone finding him strikes him. So Cain went out from the presence of Yahweh and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore. We have on mine, she conceived and bore Enoch, not the Enoch. This is a different Enoch. Bore Enoch, and he built the city and called the name of the city after the name of his son, Enoch. And Enoch was born, and to Enoch was born Arad, and Arad brought forth Mehuel, and Mehuel brought forth Methuselah, and Methuselah brought forth Lamech, and Lamech took for himself 2 wives, and the name of one was Adah, and the second of the wife was Scylla. And however, I'm going to jump over here because I saw how it was pronounced a little bit better, and because I have been destroying that one all day long, and I need to find Zillah. So, and this one is pronounced Zillah. So, that's a little bit better. And Adah bore Yabal. We're going to go over here and use some translations because, yeah, these are I'm going to totally destroy it. In Yabal, or Jabal. I like Jabal. And bore Jabal, which is kind of funny because there's no J in Hebrew, so it wouldn't be Jabal. It would be Yabal. So, Adab or Yabal. And we are on 420 for those of you that may have lost track because, words. He was the father of those who dwell in tents with livestock, and his brothers, whose name was Ubal. He was the father of all those who play the lyre and flute. As for Zillah, she also bore Tubal-Cain, a smith of all kinds of tools in bronze and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said to his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice. Wives of Lamech, listen to my words, for I have killed a man for wounding me, even a young man for hurting me. For Cain is avenged sevenfold, and Lamech 77-fold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son, and called his name Seth, for Elohim has appointed me another seed instead of Abel, because Cain had killed him. Now, if that's what Seth means, that is a mouthful for the words for the name Seth. Just saying. And to Seth, to him also a son was born, and he called his name Enosh. And it was begun to call on the name of Yahweh. Book 5. This is the book of the genealogy of Adam. In the day that Elohim created man, he made him in the likeness of Elohim. Male and female he created them, and he blessed them, and called their name Adam in the day that they were created. And Adam lived 130 years, and brought forth a son in his own likeness after his image, and called his name Seth. And after he brought forth Seth, the days of Adam were 800 years. And he brought forth sons and daughters. Brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. So the Bible's really interesting when people die. They're like, and he died. Well, just to the point. He died. And Seth lived 105 years and brought forth Enosh. And after he brought forth Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and brought forth the sons and daughters. So all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. And Enosh lived 90 years and brought forth Canaan. We'll say Canaan. I'm going to look this one up because, it has Q words. So let's see who he brought forth. And, sorry. Kenan. We'll say Kenan, not Canaan. Kenan. He brought forth Kenan. And after he brought forth Kenan, Enosh lived 815 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Enosh were 905 years. And he died. And Kenan lived 70 years and brought forth Mahalo. After he brought forth Mahal, Canaan brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. And Mahalalel lived 75 years and brought forth Jared, or Yered. Yered. We'll say Yered. It sounds a little better. I know you guys are just cringing because how I'm slaughtering the Hebrew. I'm sorry. I strive to do better as we go along. And after he brought forth Yered, Mahalalel lived 830 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Yered lived 162 years and brought forth Enoch. So this is the Enoch. This is Book of Enoch, Book 1. We're not going to talk about Book 2 and 3 because it's a whole different rabbit hole. Book 1, oral traditions passed down, acceptable. Book 2 and 3, I'm not too sure. And I personally do believe in reading the non-canonicals. The Lost Books of the Bible by Joseph B. Lumpkin. This has Jubilees, Maccabees, Book of Jasher, the Book of Enoch 1, 2, and 3. 2 and 3. I'm not too. The Book of Mary Magdalene. I believe the Apocalypse of Abraham is in here. Now, on a side note, the Apocalypse of Adam, interesting. It's kind of maybe a fun read. It's interesting. Definitely not biblical. It does have the Apocalypse of Abraham. So, haven't read that one. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene. Pretty good book. And yeah. And oh yes, it's written in the Old English format. So if you're really big on the King Jimmy, you might like that one. I'm not a huge fan of the King Jimmy. But I digress back. So, and 518, and Yered lived 162 years and brought forth Enoch. And after he brought forth Enoch, Yered lived 800 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Yered were 962 years, and he died. And Enoch lived 65 years and brought forth Methuselah. And after he brought forth Methuselah, Enoch walked with Elohim for 300 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So Enoch walked with Yahweh, Yahovah, Father Yah. He walked with him. We can go down a whole different rabbit hole, but I think I'm going to hold off on that one right now, because I don't think y'all might not be ready for who he actually walked with. Yes, he walked with Yah. He walked with Yah made flesh on earth. We'll touch upon that as we go through more of Genesis. So, Enoch walked with Elohim 300 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with Elohim. Then he was no more, for Elohim took him. And for those of you that may not, well, who's this Elohim? Elohim means mighty one. It is plural. Father, Son, set apart Spirit. Elohim. At the great El Shaddai. We can go through all. Abba. They took him. He was no more. Enoch never faced death. Much like, say, Elijah. Took Elijah up. Took Enoch up. There was one other person that never saw death. Melchizedek. He never saw death. He was just taken away. Well, Melchizedek is a totally... Yeah, we'll get to Melchizedek. Another rabbit hole. Stay on task. And so, We are 525. And y'all should be reading along with your Bibles. You really should. And here's the thing. I am going to kind of summarize this how a good brother and now pastor put it. I am your brother. I am not your pastor. I am not your minister. I'm not your bishop. Any of that. I am a brother. We are reading this word together. Do not take my word for it. Read it for yourself. You should never subcontract out your faith to anyone else, not even somebody on the internet. And yes, I paraphrased and stole that and borrowed it a little bit from Pastor Bear. The best way is sums it up perfectly. Do not take my word. You open your Bible. You open it and you read it for yourself so you can see. Do not let anyone else, nobody. If you go to church, don't let your church leaders, because if they were taught something, they can lead you astray. Okay. So, 525. And Methuselah lived one. Okay, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. Oh, pardon me. Excuse me. Thank you, because I know some of you probably said, God bless you. Because it's habit. 525. And Methuselah lived 187 years and brought forth Lamech. And after he brought forth Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Methuselah were 969 years. And he died. And also Methuselah was the longest living human being written within the Bible. And Lamech lived 182 years and brought forth a son. And he called his name Noah, saying, this one does comfort us concerning our work and the toil of our hands because of the ground which Yahweh has cursed. And after he brought forth Noah, Lamech lived 595 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Lamech were 777 years. Lamech lived 777 years. 777. And he died. And Noah was 500 years old. And Noah brought forth Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Okay. I'm 54. I could not imagine being 500 years old, bringing 3 children. Granted, it wasn't me that bringing them in, but 500 years old, he must have been tired. I'm tired, boss. Sorry, I'm just like 500 years old and dealing with infants and then toddlers. Whew, praise Yah. And Noah was 500 years old. And Noah brought forth Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And we are going to end right there because that is leading us to chapter 6 of Genesis. And chapter 6 has a lot of very interesting rabbit holes that we may or may not go down. There's some stuff that people are like, no, and others are like, yes. So it is quite interesting. And yes, I know my hat looks goofy, so I'm trying to prevent the shadowing. So this studio, my office, is a cluster right now, and I do apologize. I read from the scriptures, Institute for Scripture Research. This is my EDC Bible. I use this. I take notes in it, all that good stuff, all throughout it. I am on my second full read of this Bible, of this word. I have read this from cover to cover. I also use, just because the Hebrew words get a little bit difficult on me, I do use I believe this is an ESV, English Standard Version. I have King Jimmy's. I have Gideon's. I have, yes, the English Standard Version. I have is it the NIV? I have multiple versions of the Bible and go back and forth. I also use eSword when it comes down to some really difficult understandings. So essentially, I don't just read the Bible, I actually study it, which that's a me thing. My wife, she just reads it, where we discuss it on, usually on Shabbat. We practice the biblical Sabbath on Saturday, sunset Friday to sunset Saturday. So when the sun goes down on Friday, that is the start of Shabbat. Friday is the day of prep. We begin all our prepping and all that other stuff. No buying, no selling, no work, no servile work. Usually I read the Bible only 2 to 3 hours on Shabbat. I definitely nap because I'm totally sleep dead. Long story. During the week, I spend at least an hour every single day. As today is, well, it is actually Monday now. Sunday being first day of the week, I get a lot of stuff done. Start preparing foods and all that stuff. But with that, thank you so much for watching the Bible, the faith readings. I'm going to bring them to you until, I don't know, I plan on completing at least Genesis with all y'all. If we go into Exodus and beyond, we'll see what Yah says. Dad's like, go ahead, read it. You're good. You're good to read it. So with that, thank you so much. I wish you a blessed week. Shema Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Ahad. The Shema for some of you. Hear, O Israel. Deuteronomy. So, with that, shalom, shalom. Till next week. And thank you for watching.